Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Double tragedy. God, why you give me them and take them back so? A grief-stricken Mickey Walters asked amid a flood of tears after her infant daughters Kayla 4 and Abigail 3 perished in a fire that gutted their Clarendon home. God, what me do you? The 27-year-old mom further asked near the charred rubble of her ill-fated two-bedroom dwelling in Hillsfield District in Racecourse, Clarendon. Walters reported that her children, who attended the Racecourse Primary and Infant School but had been staying home since Monday because they had contracted the flu, were not usually left home alone. On Thursday morning, however, she went next door to take food to their father, who was working at a neighbor's home. "Me never gone for more than 5 minutes," the tearful Walters said as neighbors and relatives consoled her on her return from the Lionel Town Hospital, where she had been taken for medical attention as she reeled from the shock of losing 2 of her 3 children so tragically. Owen Tomlinson, father of the children, also wept uncontrollably, recalling his vigilant effort to try and rescue his children from the blaze. The fisherman, who also burns school for a living and undertakes odd jobs to earn a living, told reporters that his children were his motivation for all his hard work, adding that he shared a close bond with his girls. "When me work, me try put them school money one side, cause me never go school. All two, 3 day, me dey see a fight for me picking them," he said. "Them no left me. Everywhere me I go, and me and them, one pa me back and one pa me side, as so me carry them," he said as tears streamed down his face. "Today will be especially difficult," he said, telling reporters that Fridays were special for the children, who would greet him excitedly and inquire about goodies he had brought home for them. Yesterday, residents of Hillsfield said that the tragedy was compounded by what they labeled as a shabby work by the funeral home and police personnel who visited the scene earlier. They complained that some of the children's remains had been left at the scene and were attracting dogs. What appeared to be the charred remains of the leg were seen by reporters. The police were again summoned and the remains removed. Tashmarie Walters, an aunt of the deceased children, who also lived at the house, said she was alerted to the impending disaster by shouts of fire by her 3-year-old son. Efforts to save the young girls proved unsuccessful. Another relative, Karen Graham, said the parents were both attentive. "They are very caring parents. I don't really see the mother and don't see the children," she said as she shared that there were times the mother would go to her shop accompanied by the children. Graham said that she once asked their mother why she always took them wherever she went. She replied, "Kerry, me can't leave them cause me no want nothing to do them," she related, describing their Tomlinson as a hard-working father. "When it comes on to making sacrifices for his children, there is nothing that he would not do," she said, stressing that it was a hard blow for the family. Deputy Superintendent Dennis Lyons of the Clarendon Division of the Jamaica Fire Brigade reported that his team responded to the fire around 11:04 a.m. but had not yet determined the cause of the fire. Mom wants death penalty for killers of pregnant daughter. The mother of 24-year-old Tashian Copeland, the pregnant woman among 2 people murdered while traveling on a bike taxi in Westmoreland on Wednesday night, is calling for the government to resume hanging. Copeland was returning home from work about 11 p.m. on Wednesday when she and a 32-year-old Dwayne Wacky Robinson, a popular bike taxi operator of Whitehall in Negril, were ambushed by armed men along the Non-Parley Road. Copeland, who was 4 months pregnant, was shot in the head, while Robinson sustained bullet wounds to the upper body. Robinson lost control of the bike when they crashed inside a building house, a betting outlet. The police were summoned and the victims rushed to Savannah Lamar Hospital, where they were pronounced dead. On Thursday, Una Copeland vowed to keep praying until her daughter's killers were brought to justice, even as she called for the state to punish murderers more severely. "I wish hanging would come back, and that the Prime Minister Fido bring back hanging," the grieving mother said. "Me a go any city, pa me Tony," she added, warning the killers to turn from their wicked ways. "There is a God, and there is a judgment coming for everyone, or we were unfair," she said. "Stop from kill people, cause your time they come, cause what goes around comes around. You can't walk in around with illegal guns killing people picking it innocent." Robinson's relatives also condemned the murders, recalling the father of 6 as very hardworking and was friendly. He was a wonderful father to his children, and whether you say good or bad to him always a laugh, his sister Fiona Sims stated. It is very shocking, she added, telling reporters that the family was shaken by the tragedy. Western Westmoreland MP Moreland Wilson promised to assist the victims' families, knowing that Robinson died leaving 6 children and 5 baby mothers. I'm looking for the police to really take some action to curtail this. We don't want to have another interview next week, and we have another tragic incident such as this, he added. The Westmoreland police are seeking one man for questioning in connection with the murders. The parish recorded 2 double murders just 2 days apart. On Monday, 35-year-old Sonny Leslie and 22-year-old Nicholas Warlock were shot and killed at a shop in Highgate in Darlingston, Westmoreland. Since the start of the year, 30 people have been slain in the parish. Relief sweeps Durham as abducted suspect held. Signs of relief has been echoing throughout Portland following Wednesday's night arrest of Davian Bryan in the hills of Durham in the Hope Bay Valley after being on the run for 5 months. Bryan, who was facing firearm and rape charges, absconded bail and was named as a key person of interest in the abduction of a 9-year-old and a 13-year-old in neighboring St. Thomas last October. Bryan was reportedly taken into custody shortly after 9 p.m. on Wednesday. Kerry-Ann Bryan, a sister of the accused, told reporters that she led 3 trusted cops to her relieved brother in a bushy area after receiving a telephone call from Davian indicating that he wanted to turn himself in. Karen said her brother told her he hasn't slept well for months. Him tell me if you come in at the light and make him see me first, she recounted. Then when we went into the light, him run come and hug me up. Superintendent Kenneth Chin, head of the Portland Police Division, commended everyone who assisted in the month-long effort to capture the fugitive, including a massive multi-agency manhunt supported by hundreds of residents in Portland and St. Thomas last October to rescue the girls. Our efforts to capture Bryan were aided through partnership with elected officials in the parish who work with the communities in sharing intelligence with the people, he said. Special commendations must go to the hardworking members of the Portland Police Division who expended great effort in capturing Bryan to improve the safety and security of the citizens in Portland. Several women have welcomed the news after months of living in fear. Glory to God. I thank the police and the citizens of Durham for their hard work, said Lisa Thomas, a resident of Snow Hill. I was so scared even to go around the back of my yard during daytime, as I know he was on the loose. He was spotted in the area on Sunday, and even though I ensured that my doors and grills were locked, I couldn't help feeling afraid, said Thomas, who lives with her teenage daughter. Bryan was listed as Portland's most wanted person earlier this month after failing to appear before the Portland Circuit Court on February 17 on his previous charges for which he had been granted bail. A warrant was also issued for his arrest. In July 2020, he was charged with rape and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition stemming from an incident involving a woman in Norwich in the Eastern Parish. Davian Bryan is expected to be charged with a number of other offenses, including abduction and absconding bail. Prison too good for Bryan, says abducted child's mom. The mother of the first child abducted last October, allegedly by Davian Bryan, is elated at Wednesday's detention of the fugitive, but would rather he be dead than be fed and cared for in prison. That is a view shared by residents of Erie Castle and her neighbors in Bath, the rural St. Thomas district that was plunged into anguish when 2 girls, including a 13-year-old, were taken captive within days of each other. The mother of the 9-year-old victim was awash with emotion at her home in Bottom Yard Lane on Thursday, 5 months after the ordeal. She was hesitant when she initially heard of his arrest, but was finally convinced when investigators visited her at her home on Thursday and formally gave her the good news. Bryan, 32, was held by the police after a relative of his arranged with the police for his detention in Durham, Portland. The circumstances that caused him to move to Bath still haunt the mother of the 9-year-old girl and other Bath residents who say they prefer him dead than alive. Me feel relief, yes, but the relief when me feel, him go to prison go eat taxpayers' money. Him never did fit end up to go back. But they will kill him same way, she said to a reporter. The teary-eyed mother said that her daughter and other siblings who were given counseling are trying to move on from the incident. the 9-year-old who has problems with her sight but had to change school to avoid discrimination and further trauma. The mother still recalls the terror of that October night when her daughter did not come home. "I couldn't sleep. I had to be in search. All my foot them weak. Me still a fear go searching for her," she said. Life hasn't been the same since the double abduction nightmare. The mother accompanies her children to school, never leaving them out of her sight. A stark change from the trustfulness attitude that is common in rustic neighborhood. The brutality of the alleged July 13, 2020 attack in Norwich, Portland, for which Bryan was charged, offers chilling insight, if true, into the suspect's captive for the violence. The victim had reported that he pressed metal against her head and ordered her to open the door as she entered her home at 3 o'clock that morning, prosecutors had alleged. Bryan is accused of raping the woman 3 times, according to documents seen by reporters. The community of Bath won't let its guard down even with Bryan's arrest, as they linger a deep-seated belief that the suspect may have his co-conspirators. "We still a fear look if any perpetrator is out there, because it would come into me like him not alone a do this thing," she said, claiming that he was aided. Community menfolk who joined the days-long search for Bryan said they are disappointed that he will be spending years behind bar if convicted for his crime. "Me glad say them catch him still, but me did want him dead. Him a go eat taxpayer money," a resident said. Sydney Pagan Academy gets new mobile milking machine. The Sydney Pagan STEM Academy in Braes River, St. Elizabeth, formerly known as the Elam Agricultural School, was the proud recipient of a new mobile milking machine from the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries on Wednesday in order to boost its capacity and quality of dairy products. The machine, which was provided through the efforts of the Jamaica Dairy Development Board (JDDB) and is the first of its kind to be distributed in Jamaica, was handed over in an official ceremony on the grounds of the Sydney Pagan Academy. The mobile milking machine will allow for more efficient and contaminant-free extraction of milk from the school's dairy cows compared to the traditional method of milking by hand. Sydney Pagan STEM Academy, which was selected as the first recipient of the device following a lengthy selection process, also received a pledge of $1 million in support from Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth to North East, Delroy Slowly. During his keynote address at Wednesday's ceremony, Franklin Whittle, the Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, said that the handover comes at a time when food security has become a concern in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic and the ongoing global impact of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. "The pandemic has taught us many things, and with the advent of the war in Eastern Europe, there is a lot more to learn. One of the top lessons is the need for boosting food security and in enabling self-sufficiency, and this resonates well within every area of the agriculture and fishery sector," said Whittle. This includes the dairy industry, ensuring that Jamaica's ability to produce milk and milk-based products at excellent quality and sufficient quantity, even during the most challenging times, is critical. Today's initiative is a significant step in the right direction, and if we proceed towards the future in a similar manner in achieving food security, it will be within our reach, Whittle added. In expressing gratitude to the new machine, Melbert Miller, principal of Sydney Pagan STEM Academy, said, "The institution has already greatly benefited from the assistance given by the JDDB. Today is a very great day in the life of Sydney Pagan STEM Academy. We are the first to receive a milking machine from the JDDB, and there are some others first to come, so I want to thank the JDDB for the tremendous support that they have been giving to Sydney Pagan STEM Academy," said Miller. "This institution has benefited from training support and technical support, plus we have been receiving support in terms of parcel of land development from the JDDB, and that is ongoing," Miller explained. In addition to the mobile milking machine, the Sydney Pagan STEM Academy is set to benefit from the opening of a multifunctional agro-processing plant valued at some $35 million. The processing plant construction, of which began last June and finished last September, will solve the perennial problem of the farmers in St. Elizabeth having a substantial amount of produce going to waste due to oversupply and insufficient markets. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.